Hey, everybody, can you hear me okay? Carl's going to be a little bit late, but I'm here, so I'll entertain you for a little bit. Exactly. You are correct, Tampon Tom. Boo, Carl. This guy, he's got to be here at noon. It's not like we record this at 7 in the morning. He's got to be here at noon. I don't know about you guys, but I probably could do a show without him. What I'm excited for today is My Creep. My Creep is an oldie but a goodie, so to speak. And I'll be honest with you, Carl caught me completely off guard when he did Dennis Nielsen a few weeks ago, because Dennis Nielsen is a real like serious like story. And no, I'm not going Carol Baskins today. Yeah, Beck W. It was weird because it'd be a crapshoot when we put up the Twitter poll. So we tried to make sure it ended at some point on the day of before the show started. Vaginas. Vaginas really suck. I'm already doing the show at lunchtime there, Z Arthur. Don't get me hungry, buddy. That piece of shit. How did he get ahead? I was killing him. Like 20 votes, I was killing him by. Hold on. I wouldn't worry about it, guys. We have a brand new algorithm that's going to help us sort all that out, because that looks like the bots are voting. I could see through the back end. It's all votes that happen within minutes of each other, all from the same country. So it's kind of weird. They'll probably be disqualified. Carl and I will discuss it, and we'll figure out a proper resolution. That's the only way to like do this, is both of us to go in the back end. Oh, sorry, I got distracted. No, is for us to go in and look at the votes and just see where they were cast from and how long apart they were cast. So, and we'll try to agree. Show'll start in a little bit, so I'll stick around with you guys. And oh boy, he really did get a lot of. Somebody hopped on there and really tried to do a number for him, didn't they? Because it was 101 to 85 just a little while ago. Nuts. All right. NBD. NBD. Thanks, Tampon. Be back with you guys soon. Motherfucking rock, Beck W.
There's two.
They got one win.
There's 2 wins. They beat
So-
Jacksonville.
Let's talk about your. Let's talk about the voting here real quick.
Okay. Nothing to do with it, but
No worries, buddy. I just want to get the word out. You probably haven't listened to WATP yet.
What about it?
I've never received more feedback from an episode of WATP.
Oh, they don't like that guy?
It's interesting. There's already like...
There might be some voicemail about it already over
Oh,
here.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say. There may be one voicemail.
In our, they have the threads for
So
every
you
episode in
did
the
that
subreddit.
Maxwell guy, right?
There's 72 comments already, yeah.
No shit.
Not funny. That guy.
You must be talking about... Not funny! Oh, yeah, Jim Norton.
Yep.
Ruined that guy. With the second... I heard the first 10 minutes of it this morning. I had it on
Okay.
the car, and I knew that guy immediately. Benjamin Borstein. When you said the name, I went, fucking Maxwell.
Yep.
You want to send me something from your board just so I can hear it real quick?
Yeah, I do. Oh, I don't have it plugged in. Hold on.
I wish I was special, but I'm a creep.
What do you think?
One more time for me right now.
What an asshole!
Yeah, we don't want him too loud, and I have the phones.
You're a stupid dumbass.
Good plan. You ready? All right, send me something from your board now.
I frickin' hate vaginas. Vaginas really suck. Anus is...
Are you ready to start?
Yeah, can you hear me all right? Do I sound okay over there?
What?
On. My mic is on.
Hey, there we are.
Oh, shit, it's a creep off. Why were you so tardy today?
I'm sorry. Bills had a late game yesterday, so I had a lot of friends over and we stayed up late.
Did you guys touch wieners?
No, we did not, but we did high five a lot. There was a lot of high fiving going on.
So let me share the link to YouTube in the Discord, and we'll start this bitch. What do you say?
I thought we had started.
Well, we're half started.
Okay,
Whatever.
let's do it.
Does anyone care?
I don't think so.
No, no one cares. This show is just this show. Hold on. At everyone, you dirty, dirty bastards. Here we go. All right. I guess let's start the creep off.
Let's do this.
Hola, creepos! It's time for another edition of the world's worst contest. It's the Creep Off, a show about creeps, by creeps, for creeps.
Ah, let's catch it on. I
It
like
is. It. You know, you pitched it to me,
Yep.
and it took me a while to decide that was the right sign on.
Yes.
I feel good about it.
I do too. Thanks, buddy.
No problem. So welcome to the Creep Off. My name is Vinnie Paulino. I am your humble-ish host, and joining me in the other room is Hot Carla.
What is happening, Vinnie Paulino? How you doing, buddy?
What exciting things are happening today, Carl.
Well, I think I'm down 4-1 currently, and we put the vote back on the website.
We did.
So we thought there might be some shenanigans involved, and the numbers that you guys see might not be the numbers that we're going to be talking about, because we're actually looking at things behind the scenes and
That is
fixing
correct.
the numbers to be actual votes from actual people.
Because we have a way to see where everybody voted from, and we also can look at the patterns.
Yeah.
There's ways to figure out what's real, what's legit, and what isn't. So today,
Yes.
our tally that Carl and I have both agreed on,
I'm coming back, baby.
Vinny,
What?
100 votes.
Uh-huh.
Carl, 87 votes.
Oh.
Spin that wheel! Spin that wheel! Spin that wheel! Spin that wheel, you fuck, with your backwards hat!
So it is wheel spinning time for me today, huh?
It is wheel spinning time
All right.
for you.
At the end of the show, we'll pull out the wheel, we'll spin it live on the show. And remember the rule. Oh, Vinny. Remember the rule that we have.
Yeah, don't you forget the rule that we have. How's that?
The rule is I have the right of first refusal if it lands on something I really don't want to do, but then I have to do whatever Vinny tells me to do.
Correct.
That is the rule. So
Boy, I got to be honest with you. I
know-
feel like you're going to Tom Meyer's restaurant. That's the one that you bitched about the most.
I was just going to ask you, do you know what you're going to pick if I say no to
Tom
something?
Meyer's restaurant.
Dude,
Absolutely.
It's
You're going.
in Baltimore, and it's not going to make for any good fodder for the show.
It's 12 hours there and back, same as I did on a live stream.
Dude,
Yeah.
I don't understand how that's going to be fun for anybody. I got the enchiladas. They were great. All right, moving on.
Carl, you're gonna have to take a camera and you're gonna have to like live stream while you're sitting there eating. You're gonna have to
boy.
talk to the viewers and the listeners. You're
Well,
gonna have
that's
to
not on
interact.
the wheel. None of that's on the wheel.
You're gonna have to become a man of the people, like your boy Vinny over here, the people's champion, and
you're
the
making this all
champion of round 3 of the creep off. That's me, baby.
Oh my gosh! So
Two-time creep off champion.
congratulations, Vinny. You
Thanks.
blew me out in this round. I have to do better. I have to try harder and do better. Is my takeaway from this.
I'm happy that we can work this out, that we were able to work out the voting today, and I'm happy that you were a man of your word. You are going to be spinning the wheel, and I could not be more delighted.
So we've been doing themes for our creeps over recent weeks and months. And why don't we have a theme this week, Vinny? What happened?
I'm a dum-dum.
Yep.
I forgot to put it on the Twitter.
He sent me the 3 categories people would vote on. I said, great, looks good, let's do it. And then days later,
Forgot to put it up.
never put it up.
Nope.
You want to just pick one? So I said, let's go back to the old potpourri.
Potpurri, which is a fun category
It is.
because there's no rules here. We could vote or submit anybody that we want to throughout history, throughout time. It could have happened yesterday. It could have happened 100 years ago. Either way, we're going to have fun with the creepiest people we could find for this episode.
You ready to get started? I guess you're going to go first then.
Yeah, ready?
Okay. There's the bell. Let's do it.
All right. My creep this week is known as one of the most infamous individuals in American history, Carl.
Okay.
He had many nicknames, and I'm going to let this creepy British guy tell you them. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I'll
Hold
leave
on
it
a
right
second.
there.
I have a problem with this already. He was
Why?
a werewolf and a vampire. I thought the
Did you see
werewolves
Underworld?
fought-
Did you see those Underworld movies? It could happen.
Werewolves fight the vampires, I'm pretty sure. You can't be both. And then the last one was Boogeyman. Like, all right, I think you should start at Boogeyman and work your way out, but okay.
Well, I'm going to say this.
I didn't write that script, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
All of those nicknames pale in comparison to what this motherfucker actually was. My creep this week is the infamous Albert Fish.
All right.
Are you familiar with him at all, Carl?
I'm not, Vinny. True crime is not my thing.
Okay. Well,
I mean, of course, I love this stuff. This is fascinating.
why are you on a true crime podcast?
I love hosting a true crime podcast with you, Vinny. It's great.
So I heard about this guy from Norm Macdonald, believe it or not, because on Norm Macdonald's podcast a long time ago, he talked a little bit about him. But I had to go back and research this motherfucker, and I still feel dirty.
Okay.
So I'm trying to do
Why are you grinning ear to ear then? You love this
because you're
shit.
going to spin the wheel.
I know. That is exciting. That is exciting.
So,
Is the 12-hour live stream still on there?
no, I switched it with a Cuties Marathon.
Oh, Cuties Marathon. Okay. All right. Sorry. I didn't mean to derail you. Let's keep going.
Okay. So we're going into history with this guy. He was born in 1870.
Okay.
He was abandoned by his parents because they were unemployed losers. And he was put into a orphanage where he was exposed to regular beatings and sadistic acts of brutality.
Well, this is all reported on 150 years later. We don't know if any of this is true.
Sure. A lot of what we're talking about here today are things that he has said and that people that knew him had to say.
Right,
so that
right.
he's very well documented, Carl.
Oh, I'm sure he is. I'm just saying fake news. That's
Okay.
all.
Okay. Well, he said later that while he was in that orphanage is where he first got into sadomasochism because he used to look forward to the abuse because it brought him a lot of pleasure.
Let's see that dick.
Fuck you, Carl. Like 4 years later, his parents came and got him out of the orphanage. He went and lived with his mom, right? And he was a little kid who liked to get beat, which is a very strange thing to be a child. So he was in like just doing lots of weird shit to himself. He ended up finding one other weird friend, and this friend introduced him to a lifelong passion of his, and that lifelong passion was eating shit and drinking pee. So
my.
they were just two little boys. One really liked to get fucking beat up, and the other one liked to eat shit and piss, and they were just BFFs back in the day.
Okay.
So
What age are we talking about at this point?
he
Teenagers?
was no, we're talking like under 10.
Okay.
Okay. So as he got older, he made money working as a male prostitute. He started to molest boys. He would lure children from their homes.
Wait a second. That's an option? You can be a male prostitute?
Yeah.
Why
Well,
are you
you
driving
can't.
an Uber then, Vinny?
He made money working as a prostitute and started to molest boys. He lured children from their homes, tortured them in various ways. His favorite way of torturing a child was using a paddle laced with sharp nails, and he would rape them. As time went on, his sexual fantasies with children grew more fiendish and bizarre. So this is him all under the age of 20.
Okay.
Okay? He lived in 23 different states, Carl.
Okay.
He worked as a painter, and he specifically took jobs close to children, the mentally handicapped, and African Americans because he said, according to him, their children were not missed as much when they disappeared.
So he's also a racist. Great.
Correct. So we've got piss shit eater, sadomasochist,
I thought that was his buddy.
racist.
His buddy was the piss.
No,
shit
he
eater.
introduced him to it. He loved it too. He became a big fan.
Okay, all right.
And in spite of all of these things, being a child rapist and a molester, he got married in 1898 and had 6 kids.
Holy shit! All right.
He had 6 children with his wife, and they lived a rather normal life until 1917 when his wife ran off with another guy. Hard to believe she could find a dreamboat that was more attractive than Albert.
Yeah.
But I digress. At that time, things started getting weird for his kids because he started making them play sadomasochistic games with him. Like he used to have them paddle him with the spiked paddle till he bled.
Okay.
It is said that he used to...
Well, remember, this is before Monopoly was invented or Clue.
Sure.
There weren't as many games to play back then.
Here's a game he used to play. He used to like to stick cotton in his asshole and have his kids set it on fire.
Oh, that's a fun game.
Yeah.
That's like Jackass type shit.
Right.
That's pretty cool.
Right. Well, how about this one?
Steve-O's like, oh, yeah, I've done that.
Hey, has Steve-O ever done this? Has Steve-O ever stuck a rose into his dick hole?
I think so. I think that's Jackass 3.
Yeah, the 3D one.
Yeah, the 3D
Yeah,
one.
well, Albert Fish is the originator of sticking a rose in his own fucking dick hole, Carl.
Wow.
For fun.
You got to stretch that shit out for a bit, I would imagine.
You would
It doesn't
imagine.
just go right in there.
No, not at all. And the thorns. Oh, God, the thorns. Then he would pull it out and eat it. Did I mention he would eat it after he would eat the rose?
Allegedly. I mean, it could be fake news. I don't know who's reporting on this.
Well, here's a one fact that we do know about him. When he ended up being arrested,
yeah.
Here's just a little thing that they discovered. Yeah, that's right. He used to like to stick needles in his own dick for fun.
Okay.
So when he was arrested, there were over 24 needles like in his nuts and in his fucking taint.
I have a friend who got his penis pierced. What's that called?
Prince Albert, I believe.
Yeah, the Prince Albert. I mean, this isn't uncommon. Some people just like to shove things into their genitalia. I don't know. You ever see a pierced nipple on a chick? It's kind of a turn on.
Now, here's my thing. If people are into sadomasochism, they're into sadomasochism. It's their body. I don't give a fuck what you do. In 1919, Fish stabbed...
Then why are we talking about it?
Because it gets worse.
Oh, okay.
In 1919, Fish stabbed an intellectually disabled boy in Georgetown. He chose people that were, like I said, mentally handicapped or African American. He murdered, mutilated the bodies of children, Carl, with what he called his implements of hell. He had a meat cleaver, a butcher knife, and a small hand saw, and that's what he did. Those were his little tools. Now, funny story, in 1930, he had a run-in with the cops. He got remarried to a woman named Estella Wilcox. They got divorced after 1 week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this marriage was meant to last.
And in the 30s, I feel like marriages lasted longer than that on average, right?
Well, it ended because he had another weird little habit that he used to do. He used to love to read the classifieds in the newspaper, and then he would send people obscene letters.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Right? Like,
I would do that.
Yeah, like it would just be, to this day, it's like going on Craigslist and fucking with people.
Yeah, right.
But, there's also no paper trail at this point because you put a letter in an envelope, whatever. So he got arrested like a week after getting married for sending an obscene letter to a woman who was looking for a maid. So he's just not a normal dude.
You can get arrested for sending an obscene letter?
In 1930, you can, and they sent him to Bellevue Psychiatric Hospital for observation.
Wow, what a werewolf. Ooh, the Brooklyn vampire. Watch out. He's sending out letters. Look out. Watch out for this guy.
Okay.
He's going to write some saucy language into a letter and send it to you when you're just looking for a maid service. Uh-oh.
Well,
This guy's naughty.
in May 25th, 1928, Fish saw a classified advertisement in the Sunday edition of the New York World. It read, "Young man, 18, wishes position in country." Edward Budd was a 18-year-old kid who wanted a job. Fish was 58 years old. He went to the Budd's family. They put their address in the classified. He went over to the house under the pretense of hiring Edward. He later confessed that he planned to tie up Edward, mutilate him, and leave him to bleed to death. Fish introduced himself as Frank Howard, a farmer from Farmingdale, New York. He promised to hire Bud and his friend Willie, and he said he would send for them in a few days. But he didn't show up. He then sent a telegram apologizing, and he came back a few days later. When he came back, he met Edward's younger sister, Grace, and he changed his mind as to who his victim was.
Oh, okay. I guess Grace didn't make a good first impression, huh?
No. He did not. He met the parents, and that very same day, he said, I have to attend my niece's birthday party over here. Grace might really enjoy going with us. Can I take Grace to my niece's birthday party? And the parents said, sure, you're going to hire our other son? Yeah, absolutely. You could take our 10-year-old daughter with you.
Oh, boy, okay.
Yeah.
These are parents of the year.
Yep.
Smart move.
Now, they never saw Grace again, obviously. But in 1934, an anonymous letter was sent to Grace's parents, which ultimately led the police to Mr. Fish. Mrs. Budd was illiterate and could not read the letter herself, so she had her other son read it to her. Here is the letter.
These are the types of details that you throw in. That's just like, who gives a shit?
Okay, well, here's the...
Who cares who read it to
I
her?
just want you to imagine that this woman couldn't read it herself. She had to get somebody to read this to her.
Okay.
And now you're going to have it read to you. Here
All
you
right,
go.
let's hear it.
Here you go. Enjoy this, everybody. Fuck triggers. Sounds like my wife. So
Died a
6
virgin
years
is a
later,
weird way to end that letter.
6 years later, without
Was she
hearing
hoping
from
that
your
she lost her
daughter,
virginity when she was dead? I would hope that she would die a virgin.
it's a weird brag, right?
Yeah, it's weird.
It's a weird brag.
I
but
totally could have fucked her. Well, yeah.
I just ate her body
is it dead
instead over
body?
9 days.
Jesus Christ.
This motherfucker ate this child, Carl, and it wasn't the only kid that he ate.
Okay.
There's 5 other children that are accounted for. The reason I'm playing just this one, we could sit here and play clips of this stuff all day.
Well,
but he
it's not
taunted.
A,
He
at least
wouldn't.
it's not a tickle fight. At least you brought a cannibal this time.
I did. I
give
brought
you credit for that.
a child cannibal.
All right.
Now he did this like 5 other kids. It's pretty fucked up. One kid was a little boy, and that story is really sick because he basically sent the parents the recipe that he used to cook him.
Which is the tastier gender? Do we have an answer on this?
I actually do, Carl.
Okay, good.
Would you just hold on 1 second? I do have that.
I'm
This is
extremely impatient.
This is
I need
he
answers.
liked the girl. He liked eating the girl very much. There was nothing sweeter than eating her ass. But this is what he said about one of the boys he ate. You mother. Yeah, so apparently girls taste better than boys.
That's what I was gonna guess.
Yeah.
That's what I would have guessed.
Yeah, so he chopped off a little boy's pee-wee.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
yeah.
Where's Kevin Ricardo when we need him? I know you are, but what am I? So, yeah, pretty fucked up, Carl. My guy, Albert Fish. So he gets caught because of that letter that he sent to Grace Budd's parents. And that letter, through a good detective work, they caught this motherfucker. And when he went to prison, when he got arrested, he admitted it. But he blamed all of the victims in court. He said that God told him to do this because they were all going to grow up to be whores.
Oh, okay.
Well, he was going to be a whore. He was a whore.
I love when God tells people to do things.
Yeah.
It's always my favorite cop out for anything that you do.
Well, when he was in custody, he regaled his attorney with stories of sexual assault, torture, and cannibalism. At his trial, the... Oh, you motherfucker. How did I lose that clip? Ah, that's the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
Take your time, buddy.
Yeah.
Take your time.
It's on my other computer. I fucked up.
Oh, no.
Are you dumb, stupid, or dumb? Huh?
All both.
What do you want to do? Do you want to try to track it down?
I'll put it in post. Either way,
Can you explain it to me so I can react to it?
it was a list that the lawyer said of all of his sexual perversions, and it was a pretty long clip.
Okay.
So he's a pretty fucked up person. They said that there has never been anyone who was ever in the court system that was as depraved as this guy. Now, they had a thing about not executing the mentally insane. Judge waived it this time.
Oh,
Judge
good.
was like, the judge said, we agree that he was outside the bounds of sanity, but he needed to be executed anyway.
I think that should always be the case. Like, who
Yeah.
cares why they're a sadistic murderer? Just
Yeah,
let's get him
gone.
off the planet.
I'm with you. So Fish apparently agreed, and he told the judge that it would be a supreme thrill to die in the electric chair. It's the only thrill I haven't tried yet.
Yeah. All right. Has he heard about crystal meth?
No, I don't think it was around then.
Okay.
So he died in the electric chair in 1936, and his last words were, "I don't even know why I'm here." And there is a chilling photograph of him being strapped into the electric chair.
Oh, you got
I'm
it
going to
for
pull
me?
it up for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
I want you to see what this fucking weirdo
Let's see
looks
this
like.
werewolf vampire.
Oh,
See what he's
dude.
up to.
They called him the Gray Man because he was just this old fucking guy. Like, he
Yeah.
was in his 50s when he was doing this
Ooh,
shit.
so old. Gross.
Yeah, I know. You don't like gross old people.
That's a guy in his 50s?
Yeah, dude.
Jesus Christ, considering John looks like he takes better care of himself. Wow.
Yeah, he died in the electric chair. So I would like to play for you my summation clip today from our friend Norm MacDonald, who, after hearing the story of Albert Fish, this is what he had to say.
Finally, someone funny on this show.
I know, right? Had to bring in a real comedian.
Yeah.
Yep.
I knew it.
This guy was a real jerk.
I knew he'd go for something like
Yeah,
that.
so there you go. Albert Fish, that's my creep this week.
All right. That's a great creep, Vinny. My creep this week is possibly Mother of the Year. You might know who this is. She's been in the news lately. Lori Vallow. Are you familiar with Lori Vallow?
I am.
Lori Vallow is a mother of two. Tylee, 16-year-old daughter, and JJ, the 7-year-old autistic son. Now, what happened with Lori is she left her husband, Charles, and started hanging out with this guy named Chad Daybell. And let me explain to you what Chad Daybell is up to.
Daybell was a former gravedigger turned novelist and podcaster from Rexburg, Idaho, who some say was something of a local cult leader, says Morgan.
He tapped into this prepper element out there, people who wanted to prepare for Armageddon.
So this guy was writing books about how he's able to see into the future and see the other side. He started a little bit of a cult. Interesting that they mentioned podcaster in there. I like that that's one of the descriptions of this guy. Watch out for this guy. He's a podcaster. Uh-oh.
Wow.
So yeah, he believed in some crazy shit, and he and Lori became best buds.
He reportedly believed he had numerous past lives and could talk to angels.
My 2 near-death experiences.
He also claimed he could read light and dark auras.
Chad had this belief that some people who were on this earth weren't really the people they were supposed to be. They were zombies. Their souls had left them, and evilness took over their bodies.
So Chad had this theory that he could determine there were certain people on Earth that weren't actually people. Their souls were gone, and they were just zombies. And this woman, Lori, mother of two, is really interested in what this guy has to say. And so she becomes a co-host on their podcast.
Lori
Yay!
started doing podcasts with Chad and began telling people she was a supernatural being appointed by God to lead the 144,000 chosen into the millennium. She also believed she had been appointed another, more ominous role, says April.
Part of her mission on Earth was to eliminate the darkness, the demonic, the evil.
Good. We need more people like that, don't you think?
Yeah, we need more religious nuts on this
We
planet.
need more people to get rid of all these evil people. Well, one of the targets turned out to be her ex-husband, Charles. And she let Charles know that she was probably going to take you right now. What are you doing?
Fixing our sound.
Okay. Should I stop? I mean, if you're not going to pay attention.
Oh, I'm totally paying attention.
Okay. We good?
Yeah, you're good.
So Charles was smart enough because he's getting threats from this woman who now thinks that she is leading these 144,000 people into the next life.
She's a prayer warrior.
That he should probably change his life insurance. So he takes it from her name to his sister's name because he doesn't want to get killed. Unfortunately, that wasn't enough.
Nope.
Within an hour of entering the house that morning, Charles was lying on the floor in a pool of blood, shot in the chest by Alex Cox.
911, where is your emergency?
So this brings into this other character, Alex Cox, who happens to be Lori's brother.
Okay.
Now, Lori's brother said he went into the home and that this guy was threatening him with a baseball bat and he shot him in self-defense. Lori and Tylee are questioned by the police and they corroborate on the story that it was all self-defense and therefore there was no wrongdoing.
So everybody backed him up.
Everyone backed him up, and these people then moved closer to Chad Daybell. They all moved to Idaho. So the mom and the kids, as well as the brother, moved into a townhouse complex in Idaho so that they could be closer to Chad Daybell, the podcaster and gravedigger. So
That's so crazy, though. Like, they just kind of, the whole family fell in line.
give me a second. Now my shit's locking up on me.
Yeah, dude, we are plagued with technical problems right now. I'm trying to do my best from this end. Sorry, folks.
I know. You're going to have a fun time editing this one.
It's actually not going to be that bad because the only thing that's been messed up technically is my drops. Nobody could hear them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I just have to drop them back in. So, folks, listen to the audio version later. You'll hear everything. I had a compelling case.
Why are we doing a live video of this show?
Yours, everybody could hear, apparently, so you're all good.
Okay.
Well, because you wanted to is the answer.
It was a bad decision on my part.
Yeah.
I just thought we would do it because we could. All right, I'm back. All right, so as you know, they're concerned about these soulless zombies. Now, you do not want to hear from Lori that she considers you to be a zombie. It's not a good thing.
We know that in the spring of 2019, Lori started referring to Tylee as a zombie to at least one of her close friends.
One of those close friends was April Raymond.
And she had described Tylee as having a dark spirit.
Uh-oh. Well, it sounds like her 16-year-old daughter's got to go because she's a zombie and has a dark spirit. So, lo and behold, in September of 2019, Tylee came home from school one day, and no one ever heard from her again. Apparently, according to, they were able to get Alex's phone, and they could track where Alex had gone. They found out that or somewhere around 3 a.m., he went over to Tylee's place, was there for a couple hours, and then at 9 a.m., went over to Chad Daybell's place. Chad Daybell, the gravedigger, just happens to have a pet cemetery in his backyard. So
where else are you going to put your dead pets?
Of course. So for a couple hours...
Not everybody has a garbage disposal, Carl.
For a couple hours, Alex was over there and disposed of the body that was Tylee. But nobody knows this, of course. They totally got away with it. Now, you still got JJ.
Yeah.
You know, you still got the younger son, the autistic 7-year-old in the house. So hopefully he's going to be all right.
Unless the devil gets in him.
The little boy was nowhere to be seen the next morning.
Oh, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. Where am I? I'm not doing a great job.
This is the sound of two boomers doing a podcast.
I hate it. All right.
You know who you remind me of right now?
What's that?
Joe Biden. You're just really...
All right. So apparently they were doing a podcast in the living room, right? This Chad and Lori. And the next day, JJ was nowhere to be found. And people were asking what was going on with JJ.
But the little boy was nowhere to be seen the next morning.
What did she tell you?
Lori explained why.
She said that he was being a zombie and climbed up on the cabinets, climbed up on top of the fridge, smashed her picture of Christ down, and then climbed up onto the upper cabinets and got between the top of the cabinet and the ceiling.
Not my priceless picture of
And then
Christ!
I asked to see him, and she just said that he was out of control, so she had Alex come and get him.
All right, so now JJ's being a zombie. That can't be a good sign for him.
He broke her picture of Christ, Carl. It is a clear sign that the devil is in the boy.
Yes, the soul has definitely left this child. So, of course, this is a couple weeks after the daughter is buried, the son is buried. Spoiler, about a year later, they did find the body, and this is how they found the body.
The child was covered head to toe in duct tape.
He had duct tape continuously wrapped from elbow all the way around his arms, over his hands, all the way to his right elbow.
Now, why would you wrap a child in duct tape?
If they're out of control, zombies, Carl.
Well, I think the answer is this.
Why do you bind somebody's feet and hands and mouth in duct tape? You do it to keep them from yelling or talking. The way they found that body leads you to believe that JJ was still alive, because you don't go through all that trouble to somebody who's already dead.
They buried a 7-year-old autistic kid alive in order to kill him. It's pretty rough.
Yeah, but did they cook him?
What happened to Tylee, I wonder?
Because of the condition of Tylee's remains, it's hard to tell what happened to her. The only thing we can know for sure is that at one point, whoever did this dismembered her body and burned it.
Okay. So these people are a lot of fun. Now,
Now, here's the thing, though. Like, when you think about this,
Yeah.
they must have really believed this zombie shit because, like, the only logical thing that I can think of is they tied the kid up and buried him. But, like, if he's a zombie, it doesn't matter anyway.
You think they really believed this shit?
I almost do, pal. Because, listen, man, I grew up with really, really crazy religious people.
Yeah.
And they believe it all, man. I've seen people try to cast the devil out of other people. Okay? They believe it.
Yeah, but they're intense people who aren't having as much fun as these two people. Now, let's get to the fun
Solid
part.
point.
Let's
Okay.
get to the fun part of the story.
The vacation?
So the kids are missing, and nobody knows this yet, all right? So Lori and Chad are just going about their lives, and they're doing their podcast, and they're hanging out. And then this happens.
Now,
Oh, did I mention that Tammy is Chad's wife? So Chad's a married man.
Right. And he
Right.
was having an affair.
Well, I don't know if he was having an affair or not, but this might help explain it.
now, the cold glare of death would shift focus to Chad Daybell's family. Roughly 1 month after JJ's death, Chad's 49-year-old wife, Tammy Daybell, died mysteriously in her sleep. 2.5 weeks later, the widower and the merry widow wed in Hawaii.
So the two kids are gone. Nobody knows that.
Yeah.
Now this guy's wife dies in her sleep. She's like 50 years old. And the next thing that happens, 2.5 weeks later, they get married. They go to Hawaii for their honeymoon.
How are they doing on downloads for that show? Were they
Dude,
getting a lot of listeners?
I want to listen to this show so bad I couldn't find it. Because if you Google podcasts with either of these people's names, it's just a billion stupid true crime podcasts talking about this story.
Right. What you got to look
Doing
up
a better
is
job than I'm doing.
what you got to look up is like Daybell Exhibit A. Is what I think you
right,
need to
yes.
Google.
I know. Because I would listen to this podcast if I could find it. These people are nuts.
Dude, that would be a great WATP bonus
that
episode.
would be fun. That would be a good one.
Call
So
me for that one.
I'll keep looking for it. If anybody knows where it is, let me know. So, yeah, I know what you mean. Did they really think that there were zombies out there? Do they really believe their own
Because there's
bullshit?
religious people out there that really believe their own brand of
Sure.
shit, man.
Sure, I think some do. I think most, like, cult leaders don't. The leaders of these things always know that it's all bullshit. So this guy knows. And the reason why I know that is because...
What's fucked up about that is the leaders all believe they're doing the right thing.
I don't know.
This guy thinks that this shit is real, even though it's not, like, real, but he thinks it's going to make people's lives better. That's why he does it.
There's no way. He does it for him because that's why he's got a podcast and he writes books. And he's
Are you saying you don't think he's altruistic in his intentions?
I don't think he's altruistic in his intentions, Vinny.
All right.
Because after the wife is gone and the kids are gone, now they're able to be together. They go to Hawaii. There's all of these pictures of them with ukuleles, and they're just all happy and having fun.
Yeah, because there's no zombie children running around
Right.
ruining shit.
Right. They got rid of all the zombie children, so they don't have a care in the world. And it wasn't until, and this is unbelievable to me, this is Idaho in 2019. This is last year. Nobody even knew these kids were missing until finally the grandmother of JJ went to the police.
Where's the quiet one? Where did the quiet one go?
Right. They're like, finally, they heard enough excuses. They haven't seen this kid in a long time. So the police show up over at Lori's house, and they ask what's going on with that. And now Lori says that, oh, JJ, he's just staying with my friend Melanie down in Arizona. They're like, okay, can we call Melanie and figure out what's going on? So they do, and she's not responding. So the police go back over to Lori's. I always love when people get into really fine details with their bullshit stories. Like, how are you going to continue to do this forever? But this was her explanation as to why Melanie wasn't getting back to the police officer.
When the police returned to Lori's home, she embellished her story even more.
Well, they were going to Frozen 2 today, so they may be at the movies.
Could you get a hold of her at some point and say, can you please call back the officer that's been trying to call you?
Okay, sure.
'Cause
Yeah, because I think they are at the movies right now.
She can't produce the whereabouts of her 7-year-old autistic child. And her excuse is, I think they went to go see Frozen 2.
Yeah.
That's not going to buy you a lot of time. Well, when they get done with Frozen 2, could you have her call me, please? Oh, yeah, you know what? They might be going to a go-kart track after that. It's a really busy day. I don't know.
I think her friend Stephanie's having a birthday that they were going to go to.
Yes, right.
Wow.
So that's what I love about these people who are really, they're always going to get caught because they're so dumb. They don't have any plan in place. Like, how did she not have a plan in place? You just wrapped your kid up in duct tape and buried him alive. You didn't think, like, someone's going to wonder where this kid is at some point. And it took until November until they did.
No, I'm convinced they believe that this was the right thing to do.
The craziest part about it, Vinny, is there's a 16-year-old daughter who went missing 2 weeks before JJ. There was nobody worried about that.
Melanie handed that secret recording to authorities, and investigators launched a nationwide search, but not just for JJ. It was then that they realized his sister Tylee was also missing.
This is a man's world. The little boy is missing.
So Melanie records a conversation she has with Lori, hands it over to the police. The police are now like, oh shit, JJ's definitely missing. And then they're like, has anyone seen his sister? Wait, what's her name? I mean, this girl has friends and shit. How is that possible that nobody reported this girl was
Apparently
missing?
she didn't.
Apparently
you think you know
she
your
didn't.
friends.
I mean, she's not in school. Anyway, I just thought that was hilarious. So now it's well-known news. There's billboards up. Everyone's looking for these children. There's missing children, and they're Lori's children. And guess what Lori decides to do?
The only two people who didn't seem concerned were Lori and Chad. Instead of helping search, they skipped off to another vacation back in Hawaii.
They're back in Hawaii again.
Of course they're not concerned. They duct taped him before they buried him. He's not getting out.
They went back to Hawaii, and of course, reporters are trying to track them down as they're just hanging out on their vacation.
Can you tell me where your kids are? I mean, there's people around the country praying for your children, praying for you guys. Why don't you give us answers?
That's great.
That's great.
It's not a good look. It's not a good look if your kids are missing and you don't give a fuck and you're out with your new husband going on vacations all the time and living it up.
They're fine. They're in the holes we left them in.
Right. Yeah, they're not going anywhere. We know exactly where they are. They're not going anywhere. I
They're
don't know why.
exactly where we left them.
You motherfucker. So finally, this woman is given an order to produce the kids within 5 days. Like, all right, you got 5 fucking days to figure out where these kids are.
You're not the boss of me.
She was formally served an order to produce Tylee and JJ within 5 days. She ignored it and was arrested on the island of Kauai on child abandonment charges. Chad showed his support in the courtroom as Lori was extradited to Rexburg, Idaho.
All right, so finally this woman is arrested and she's got to face her day in court. Now, what's interesting is that in this time that it took for them to get arrested and then for them to finally find where the bodies were, because if you can't produce a body, there is no crime.
Correct.
So they finally find the bodies, and obviously Alex Cox, his cell phone is what led them to Chad's place and what figured out where the bodies were and how they were able to dig them up and find them. And luckily, Alex has also passed away.
But what about the man who led them to Daybell's backyard, Alex Cox, Lori's brother? Incredibly, he too had died. He dropped dead 6 months before JJ and Tylee were found.
Oh, okay. Well, that's interesting.
Dropped dead, you say?
So we got a dead ex-husband, a dead wife, a dead brother, 2 children that were found buried in this guy's pet cemetery.
And one happy couple.
And one happy couple. And there's speculation that they're going to be able to say that Alex did all of this and they're going to walk free.
Alex was the trigger man, and Alex is already dead. So how are they going to prosecute Chad and Lori? I am horrified that law enforcement isn't going to be able to find anything to tie him to this. That terrifies me.
All right, calm down. I'm terrified. It's fine. They'll get
They
something.
should be in big trouble.
Yeah,
and they're not.
It's like, man, they'll get something.
So
You can't have buried children in your backyard and not get arrested for something.
does anybody think that they're going to actually get away with this?
Well, it's interesting that you say that, Vinny, because this is still an ongoing investigation.
Yeah.
And because they've just discovered where these children are and what happened to them, now they're starting to look suspiciously at some of these other things that happened.
The body of Chad's wife, Tammy Daybell, has been exhumed.
Uh-oh.
And investigators are now calling her death suspicious.
Yeah.
Authorities in Arizona are also investigating the shooting death of Lori's former husband, Charles Vallow.
It appears that Chandler police believe Lori had something to do with Charles's death.
Yeah, it does. It does appear that way. So they've exhumed the body of Tammy, the wife of Chad, and they're investigating Charles' being shot by Alex.
They probably just left JJ there because nobody wants to deal with the duct tape. Like, getting that stuff unstuck, now that it's been in the ground for so long, I mean, you're just going to be pulling out parts of the kid when you start to take it. That's a mess. Leave him down there.
Is there even a guy that does that? Like, usually, I know a guy. Don't worry about it. We'll get this figured out. I don't think there's a guy for that.
There's a guy who does everything when it comes to dead bodies, Carl.
I don't know about that one. I don't know how you specialize in something like that. So anyway, Lori Vallow and her hubby Chad Daybell, that would be my creep this week on the Creep Off.
I have a
Vote for
question.
Carl,
Where did
thecreepoff.com.
this story come from in your mind? Was it because you were listening to Drew and Mike?
Drew and Mike was talking about it a lot, yeah.
Yeah. People are calling you out on the YouTube. Just want you to know.
Oh, no shit. You know where I actually got the idea, though? I have heard about this on Drew and Mike, but I asked my wife, who is a fan of true crime, if there's been any crazy
Does
stories.
she want to do a podcast with anyone?
I know, she would actually know this shit. So I asked her, and she brought this up. I said, oh, yeah, that's a great one. And I didn't even know all the details. So I watched an entire 48 hours or whatever that show is called. Very well produced, that show.
It is a very well-produced show, and you chopped it up nicely to
Thanks,
get all your
buddy.
clips. So,
I chopped it up better than they chopped up the daughter and before they buried her.
but not quite as well as my man Albert Fish did when he was cooking and eating children.
Fair
in
enough.
fact, one kid, they said that he stabbed him in the stomach, then just drank the blood as it came out of the wound. I forgot to mention that earlier.
I hate when you do this. I feel like you do this on purpose. You leave a detail out just so you can sandwich my story. You loved it. You love sandwiches. You love pizza. I'm surprised you're not pizzaing my story. You do this every time, though. Seriously, I think it's cheating. I think you're a cheater, and I don't like it.
He's a real jerk, Carl. He's a real jerk.
I get it.
All right.
We get any
so,
voicemails or anything coming through?
Yeah, we did, and I actually think I fixed the audio, so we'll be able to hear them.
Okay, good.
Just in time for the voicemails, not for my creep that I'm actually trying to compete with. But you know what, though? You still have to spin the wheel in a few minutes. So, okay, this one came in from a lady.
Holy shit. This week is brutal. I wish there was a way to vote for both, but Vinnie definitely got the win this week.
Yeah, just thought you'd like to know.
Okay, I want to make a comment about that. I think this is important to point out. So apparently I played audio of someone getting raped on the show last week.
Yeah, I was just going to gloss over it because I never want to think about it again.
I didn't say it at the time, but I want you to know that police investigated that and no charges. They didn't press any charges, and it doesn't seem like that any of that was real.
Oh, so I deserved to win.
You deserve to win. I didn't want to say it at the time because I wanted people to vote for me. But just so you guys know, I didn't actually
bastard.
I didn't actually bring audio of a woman getting raped because that would be very disturbing.
All week I was horrified. I had conversations with people. I was like,
I know.
listen, should I play this?
I did
I'm just
too.
wondering, should we play this? Should I try to get this cleared somewhere? Like, I was trying to figure out what the responsible thing to do is with your careless attitude.
It appears that it was a prank.
Episode was even a day late and people made fun of me.
Oh, is that why it was a day late?
Not exactly, but a
okay.
little bit of it.
Okay.
But all right, so here's some more comments on last week's episode.
All right, so all it takes is one drunken time where Vinny's got to call in and sit through the ring, and now no ring. Hey, how about that shit? Maybe now Vinny's got to listen to that last episode and realize how unfunny it was, and we'll get funny podcasts from here on out. Jesus Christ, guys. Come
Well, this week didn't help your cause, but maybe next week there'll be a funny episode. And this is just another response to last week's episode.
Fuck you, Carl and Vinny. Meet the parents. I had to take a shower after that episode. Fuck both of you. Now, even your creep parade was total shit. It was awful.
It's called the Scum Parade, pal.
Yeah.
Scum Parade. Get it right.
Yeah, that was a rough one last week. We couldn't put enough trigger warnings or disclaimers on that one.
Yeah, it was a weird episode, but hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed the rest of it.
I got a
now that you know it was all just a lark, I bet you can
Yeah.
go back and listen to it and enjoy it.
It's all just good fun, everybody.
Last voicemail of the week. You're going to enjoy this one, Carl.
Okay.
It is for you.
Hey, Carl, this is Chad Zumach. This is how I talk. You stopped returning my calls on the WATP line, but I just wanted to let you know that Chrissy Mayer is a cunt, and also that John Melendez was nice to me. Also, Bert Kreischer is terrible, but I do have his phone number. Give me a call back, buddy. I can't wait to host again. Bye.
I don't understand what any of that is, but just thought you'd enjoy it.
Well, after you listen to WATP, you'll know.
Oh,
I do want to make an announcement. I'm going on the Chrissy Mayer podcast later today.
Gross. What'd
Yeah.
you do? Did you? Is that what's going to be your consequence on the wheel?
That should be
Going
the
on Chrissy
consequence.
Mayer's
That's
podcast?
it. That's it. That sounds good. I got a voicemail here as well.
Carl, this is for the creep off. And I'm calling to let you know that Vinny did not complete his punishment. See, on the wheel of consequences, he had to listen to Dead Town and all these other horrible podcasts for 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And if you listen to the show, or if you watch his live stream, his 12-hour live stream, he didn't really listen to any of these podcasts. He just kind of fucked around in chat the whole time.
Uh-huh.
Nope.
So I think he's got to restart.
Nope.
And P.S., the only reason I called this voicemail is because it takes 4 years to call the other one.
Not anymore. I fixed it.
You fixed it. All right. That's cool.
So,
People
sir,
are calling shenanigans on you, Vinny.
I did it.
You might
I
be
did
a
it.
cheater.
I did it. And you're going to do every fucking second of your consequence, whatever it is, pal. Just
All
a
right.
reminder.
All right.
All right. So you ready for a scum parade?
Yeah, let's go to the Scum Parade.
Well, in the middle of the night and the early morning light, you can see these are creeps from miles away. They'll be banging their kids and banging siblings, driving up a cliff with children on board. Watch out for the Scum Parade. Oh no, it's the Scum Parade. Look out for the Scum Parade, making Vinny's day.
Oh, I love that song. I love the Scum Brigade. Now, are you ready for your Scum Parade this week, folks? Here we go. We're going to start off in Salt Lake City, Utah, where a man was arrested Saturday after police say he refused to return a car he was test driving to the dealership and drove at dangerous speeds on the freeway. You ever thought about doing this, Carl?
No, but now I do. Now I'm thinking about it a lot.
Did you see the guy? Did you look at the
Yeah.
picture of the man? How would you describe him? He looked like Jared Letter's Joker, but
Yeah.
more methy.
Disheveled.
Disheveled.
I would say, yeah.
According to court records, 43-year-old Caleb Gibson was conducting a test drive around the Salt Lake City when the sales associate in the vehicle told him to return to the dealership. The salesman told police Gibson refused, and while the employee was calling 911, he said Gibson sped up to 100 miles per hour, turned the music up, rolled the windows down, and ran away from the police. There was a police pursuit, and he decided to try to evade the police. Gibson told police he was scared to stop the car because the sales associate was yelling at him and grabbing the steering wheel, trying to make him pull over. Seems like a logical reason not to pull over when someone's grabbing the steering wheel.
If Subaru doesn't take advantage of this and use this in their next commercial, I'll be very disappointed. Are you tired of the same old dealership with the same old salespeople selling the same old cars? Well, tell your wife and kids to hit the bricks and head over to your Subaru dealership. We're not offering any old test drive. Strap in next to Vin Diesel because there's a heist and you're in, motherfucker. 100 miles per hour? You know it. Heavy metal through 7.1 surround sound? Fuck yes! Police pursuit that ends in your arrest? Why not? You're driving the world's safest car. You're driving a Subaru, motherfucker!
Dude, I'll buy two. I used to work for a Subaru dealership. Did I ever tell you that?
No.
Yeah, I used to work for one, and there was a big problem with people who looked like this guy coming in trying to drive, what are they, WRXs?
Okay.
Like the really nice, like Subaru stock cars. People wanted to drive them because they soup them up for racing, and they take them out for crazy test drives all the time. I'm guessing that's what happened here. But the fact that this dude decided to like go on a car chase with the police chasing him, put him right in the Scum Parade, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, if you're going to break the law, why put a witness into the passenger seat next to you? It just seems like a really bad idea.
I don't think, well, they weren't going to let this motherfucker take the car by himself.
No, I understand. I'm just saying it's not.
I've gone in to shop for cars, and they're like, go ahead, sir. You doughy fat white guy, you don't look like you're going to be a problem. This fucking guy, I'm thinking he's taking it to the next chop shop.
Right. All right. What else we got, buddy?
Rachel Hilliard, 38, was sentenced to life in prison this past week in Sedgwick County for first-degree murder of Mickey Davis, who was 63 years old at the time of her death. Apparently on April 9th, 2017, Davis was killed after she went to Hilliard's home to pick up items that belonged to her son, Jacob Gillespie. Now, Hilliard and Gillespie were dating. They had a kid together, supposedly, and they were in the process of a messy breakup. So the mother went over there to pick up some of his things. During Hilliard's trial, prosecutors argued that she was going to kill Davis all along and that this was just the opportunity. Hilliard claimed that Davis came over to the house. They were arguing over a painting, and she fell, and that Miss Davis fell down.
Okay, yeah, that's what happens when you're arguing. People
Right,
just fall down.
right. So Rachel Hilliard decided that after she fell down, she had no choice because she said that she fell down and died. She had no choice but to cut Davis's head off by using 2 steak knives.
Sounds like a real pain in the neck.
Waka waka. Hilliard left her head in the sink. And her claim was that she said, the things told me that I didn't have much time and I had to get her head away from her body so her soul could get free and go to heaven.
God told her that.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny?
Her and Albert Fish both.
Isn't it funny who's God is talking to? It's always like meth heads.
Yeah, complete
God's
fucking
never talking to me.
lunatics.
Also, it's really funny. She thought she had to decapitate the head in order for the soul to leave the body. Is that why we have so many ghosts? We're not decapitating enough heads of our dead bodies?
We got to be like, every time someone dies, we need a fucking Highlander at the morgue to just
Right.
fucking chop a head off.
Yes, this is the problem that we have.
Davis and her 9-year-old grandson both went to Hilliard's home that day, but he went to go get help after the attack started and did not witness his grandmother's beheading. Hilliard said that she went to speak to Davis's grandson, who ran away and hid in the truck before she beheaded Davis. So she killed this woman.
Yeah.
And then it's like, come here, kid, but she couldn't find him. The kid's hiding in the trunk. Then she goes and chops off her former, I guess, closest thing to a mother-in-law you could have without being married. Chopped her fucking head off with steak knives and put it in the sink. Wow.
And she even said, I thought I had to take her head off because I was pretty sure she was dead. It's like, I reckon she's dead. I better take her head off. It's a 50-50 shot that she's already passed away anyway.
It all makes sense to me, Carl. It all makes sense to me.
Crystal meth is a hell of a drug.
Yeah, so they said she suffers from mental illness, but she is going to prison for life.
Yep.
Her competency was also questioned multiple times because some people think she is all there. Some people think that she isn't.
Well,
either way, going
you know
to jail.
how I know she's crazy? She's a woman.
You could send your letters to
Moving
thecreepoffpod@gmail.com. All right.
Jeez Louise.
Here's a fucked up story for you that I think is going to go down into urban legend. This is why I like this one. A 12-year-old Georgia girl may have died as an indirect result of severe lice infestation. Why are you laughing so hard?
That story is insane.
It is insane. I mean, like when you were a kid and someone got lice in your class.
Ew, gross.
Right. You never wanted to be around that person again.
Right.
This poor little fucking girl had lice for years, apparently. For 3 years. Okay? The Georgia Bureau of Investigation special agents testified in her death that young Caitlin died of a cardiac arrest with the secondary cause being severe anemia. They said that the girl suffered extreme physical pain due to medical negligence, although the autopsy is not complete. They said that the anemia was caused by being bitten in the fucking scalp by lice.
Right.
Now, the
She
parents...
had so many bites over months and years of time.
The new details are really crazy. The parents, Katie Horton and Joey Yozovic, are going to it's going to a grand jury. They were charged with second-degree child cruelty. The mother, Katie Horton, told investigators Caitlin had not bathed within the last week and a half before she died. When agents got to the home in August, the inside was filthy, with vermin covering the mattresses, stuffed animals, and other furniture in Caitlin's room.
I don't say this lightly, Vinny. I think this girl might have had a better shot of being raised by Stuttering John. than
Yeah.
These two people.
Yeah, she could play with the roaches.
You know what they should have done?
They're not going to bite her.
You know what they should have done when the cops showed up? Is put up a green screen. Wow! What a nice living room you have. Can I play that piano? It's just for show.
It's Caitlin's. That was Caitlin's podcast studio.
Wow. So they removed her two brothers from the home because it's obviously disgusting. I think they should remove the rodents too. This isn't safe living conditions for anything.
I can't believe people like this. The kid hadn't bathed in a week and a half before it died. They're saying that this is the technical explanation. Lice lowered her blood iron levels, which likely caused the anemia, which triggered the cardiac arrest. So this kid died from not having a fucking bath, from not having like the lice shampoo at school. Where was the school? How fucking dirty can this kid be?
It's Georgia.
Good point.
Yeah.
But now, you know, for the rest of eternity, kids would be like, with the kid who has lice, they could die from that.
God, I'm pissing off everybody that listens to us today. What am I doing?
I don't know. I think you are too. I don't think they liked you to begin with.
Fair enough. Someone's got to be the heel on this show. You and your fucking big likable teddy bear 12-hour stream.
That's me, baby. Everybody loves Vinny. I'm going to do my Chris Farley laugh. All right. This story is also a lot of fun. We are going overseas for the Scum Parade. We are going to Hong Kong, Carl. A kindergarten teacher poisoned 25 children.
Yeah.
Only killing one of them, though. After an argument with
Only killing one of them. Well,
Yeah.
she's not very good at her job.
Yeah, well, Common Core. After an argument with a rival staff member, she has been sentenced to death by a court in central China. They have it right over there. They'll just fucking off you when you do shit like this.
Well, keep reading. I don't know if they have it all that right.
That's true. The Intermediate People's Court in Henan Province described killer Wayne Young's motives as despicable and vicious. The court said that leading up to the poisoning, Wang had quarreled with another teacher at Jiazu Kindergarten over how best to handle the students. Then on the morning of March 27, 2019, Wang added nitrate to porridge supplied by the school and intended for the other teacher's students.
Yep.
Oops!
Whoops.
Whoopsie.
I'll show you how bad of a teacher you are.
Yeah,
Poison all of your students.
She was going to poison all of her students and be like, she can't even keep her kids alive on her watch. I obviously am the better teacher. That's what was happening here.
Sabotaging coworkers. It goes on in every workplace.
Oh, my God. Exactly right. Absolutely tried to sabotage the other teacher. And according to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, nitrate is a toxin and likely a carcinogen used in fertilizers, food preservation, and even munitions and explosions. At high levels, it could stop the human body from absorbing oxygen.
It's even worse than MSG, if you could believe it.
Now, here's the thing about Wang.
Someone isolate that.
Here's the thing about Wang.
Let me see that dick.
Yeah, fuck you. Yun Wang had previously been caught trying to poison her husband.
Yes. So this is where teachers' unions are a little bit out of control.
Yeah.
This is going to be a little bit controversial, but I don't want people who tried to murder their husband raising our children or teaching our kids at school.
Yeah.
Doesn't that that was just in 2017 that she was caught trying to poison her husband, and she's teaching a kindergarten class.
And she used nitrate then too.
Yep.
And he survived.
I know, she's not good at it.
Yeah, I mean, like, why go back to the nitrate? You can't even fucking kill the guy at home. I mean, maybe she thought, they're kindergartners. A little dab will do ya.
They don't have Amazon over there. It's not as easy to buy poison as it is here in the States.
That is true. So basically, the kids were all vomiting. It's a terrible situation. And she is sentenced to death.
So the children were vomiting and passed out. One of them died. There were needle marks in their heads where they were torturing them with needles and poking them in the heads. And the school's official response is it had not yet found any evidence to substantiate the claims.
Yeah.
There's no evidence that any of this took
But yet
place.
we're still going to kill the teacher.
There's
now,
no
here's what you
evidence.
just did. There's actually two stories there. They're two separate stories. One's from a separate kindergarten, and that's where the teacher was supposedly poking the kids with the needles.
Oh, I thought this was the same
No,
same
different
woman.
person.
So here's what I thought. Because Chinese children are very well behaved.
Absolutely, because you poke them with needles when they misbehave.
Right. I'm thinking we need these teachers. Don't sentence them to death. Sentence them to the Rochester District School, the Rochester School District.
You would think that if needles could keep people in line, Albert Fish would have behaved a lot better, Carl.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we need a little bit more discipline.
In the Rochester City Schools.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks for spitting that out.
That is this week's Scum Parade, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, that's
Hope you
fun.
enjoyed it. Thank you for listening to the show. We really appreciate you.
All right.
Make sure that you call us and leave us a voicemail. Let us know what you thought of this episode. 585-371-8108. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CreepOffPod. I should let you guys know with Instagram what I'm doing is whenever you guys make those fun Photoshops, I'm going to start throwing them all up on the Instagram so folks can see all the fun fan art you guys have made. So if you want to send any of that, if you have anything you want to put on the Instagram, you can send it to thecreepoffpod@gmail.com.
I want to remind everyone that Who Are These Podcasts does not have an Instagram account.
That is true.
Stop liking those images. Stop commenting on them. I should probably say this on WATP.
Yeah, good point. And listen and subscribe. Tell your friends. Leave a review. It's nice to be important.
It's more important. Wait, we got to spin the wheel.
Oh, fuck.
You're trying to end the show. We gotta spin
No!
the wheel.
You're spinning the fucking wheel.
I can't believe you forgot. You were so giddy about it. You were giddy, and then you totally forgot what we were even. Yes, and then you totally forgot what we're doing. Okay.
There's the wheel.
There's the wheel. Everyone can see it on
Hold on,
screen.
let's discuss it.
There's no shenanigans going on. Let me back this up a little bit. All right. I can't believe you
I
forgot
can't
it.
believe I did
I know
either.
we're running late today. I know we're running long, but Jesus Christ.
I got shit to do.
Okay.
So let's talk about what's on the wheel before you spin it, Carl.
Okay, yeah. Do you want me to go through it?
Yeah, please.
All right. There's Drive to Gary, Indiana still on here?
Yep.
Fuck that. Tom Myers Restaurant, the 7-second porn challenge, where if I roll that, I have to stand somewhere in a crowded public area.
I'm thinking line at Wegmans.
Something like that. Can it be Tops? Because I don't know.
Nope.
There. I just stand in line and watch porn.
Pittsford Wegmans.
No, that's not the deal. And watch porn loudly on my phone for 7 seconds. Stuttering John book report. We have to buy Stuttering John's book and then write a book report about it.
And have it graded by a teacher.
And then it'll be graded by an actual teacher. Wear Crocs in public for a day. There's
That's actually for a month.
No, it's not. It's for a day. There's Semenology.
Yeah, that's not a good one.
Semenology, you have to buy
The autographed
copy
of the Semen Lovers Mixed Cocktail Guide, and you have to be seen reading it in public.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
You have to go to a Starbucks and just sit there with your fucking Semenology book.
That's a fun one. All right, we got the Nick Bate cover song. We got to cover one of Nick Bates' awesome songs.
No, you have to do an album. You have to do a whole album of Nick Bates songs.
Something like that. All right. Oh, we still have this one. The mayonnaise bobbing for apples. Bobbing for apples in a thing of mayonnaise.
Correct.
I don't even know how
Brought
that's-
in by a listener.
I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know why that's still
You're
on
going
the
to stick
wheel.
your face in mayonnaise, and it's going to be gross. It's going to be awesome.
Cuties movie-a-thon.
Yep. How many times do you think you should have to watch it if you land on it?
Once.
Wrong.
We got Vic stand-up.
I'm saying you have to watch it at least 3 times in a row.
We got the Vic stand-up, which means I have to go to an open mic and do Vic from WATP, the review girl. I got to do her stand-up
Yeah,
set.
she's died, though.
We got to do we got the Seamus stand-up, where I have to go to a open mic and do Seamus's stand-up routine.
Yep.
Which that would be fun. Dinner with a listener.
Ugh.
Adult diaper. What's adult diaper? You got to piss in an adult diaper?
You have to wear an adult diper and use it.
Oh, God. All right. What if I develop a fetish after that? And that's like turns into my thing.
That's fine. It seems to be your problem. You're not going to use my chair anymore. But before you spin, the rules are simple. Whatever you get, you have to do to your utmost ability. And not only that, if you decide to pass on what you land on, I get to decide what you're doing.
Let's do it.
All right.
And
Round it goes.
And around it goes, everybody. What it lands on, I'll be pissed. It is Nick Bate cover. The Nick Bate cover album. Well, you look like you're skeptical. You want to go over here and look at it?
I could see it.
It's the Nick Bate cover.
All right. So you're
I'm
gonna
excited
do
about this
You're
one.
gonna do all of Nick Bates' songs, a cover. Like, I think you should put some effort into it.
Oh, yeah. No, we'll get the jingles department involved. Maybe PJ can help me out. We'll do this up right.
Yeah,
my friend.
and you're gonna have to do
Doug White?
There's a way we're gonna have to make this better. You're gonna have to like put it on Instagram or on Apple Music under
gotta
your
get
real
it
name.
published, too.
Under your real name. I think the music of Nick Bates by Carl, and I think it has to go out there so people could download and listen
I
to
think
it.
that has to be the first 7 tracks of the next Isotopes album that we put out.
Fine with me, but
unexplained.
But
Just
this
put it out
album,
there.
here's the thing about this album: it has to be available for listeners. They have to be
Yeah.
able to get it and listen to it.
Oh, yeah. We'll put
All
it up
right.
on YouTube or something. We'll figure it out.
All right.
I mean, I'm not going to fucking buy publishing rights. I'm not going to give Nick Bate money.
Please, isn't he dead?
I don't think so. I think he's in jail.
I thought he died in jail.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, who cares?
He's a little shit eater, that one.
Carl Hamburger sings the Bates. That's what's on Leo on the YouTube. All right, so let's try this
Stop
again.
doxing people, everybody.
Here we go. You ready? It's nice to be important.
It's more important to be nice.
Gagia. See you next week. Got to hit the music now.
How do we find new ways to fuck this show up every week? You'd think we'd be out of ways to fuck this show up.
I'm getting better.
Oh, yeah? You had your clip on a different computer?
It's the Creep Off.
penis into Anna's butt. Butts, butts, butts.
All right, we're off. Thank God.
Sorry, my story was too